All right. Let's now come back to the Forest Brothers podcast. It's your boy, Mutsa Christian, back in the cut, joined by my two brothers, Samson and Kosi, and our very special guest, back again, Sir Kumbi. He said he'll be back, folks, after the Liverpool-Man City game, and here he is, back in the cut. He has a lot to say. He has a lot to celebrate. Pep, if you're listening to this, maybe cover your ears for maybe the whole episode, actually. I don't think you're going to hear this, Pep. I actually don't think you're going to hear this. But, Man City fans, you probably do want to hear this. Anyway, gentlemen, this episode is about Liverpool versus Man City. And let me do the honorable thing and let the Liverpool fan on the show actually get the first jab, put in his first jabs or his first opinions of what he saw in that game. So, Sir Kumbi, I heard you were at a bar watching the game with other Liverpool fans. I'm sure the atmosphere was crazy. Please let us know. What were your thoughts on that game? Give us your analysis. Over to you, Mr. Kumbi.
Well, firstly, welcome to the listeners, and shout out to the Forest Brothers for having me on again. What a great Sunday of football it was. I really thoroughly enjoyed that match. On my way, I was running late. I was supposed to meet Samson at 11, but as you know, sometimes I suffer from AT, so African time is a problem. But had to watch the game on my phone, and then got to the pub, and it was packed. Could barely move. Thankfully, Samson was on time, got us a nice spot in the back. I had my jacket, so we were fine in the cold. And what a game. First things first, I want to give some respect to Arne Slot for changing the game plan. Everyone expected Darwin Núñez to start, and going back, saving the switch of Luis Diaz as center forward for Man City, to me, showed that he actually didn't rate Madrid as much as he saw the importance of beating Manchester City. And the truth of the matter is, Manchester City is a shell of themselves and just could not hang with our pressure. I thought Mo Salah was great when it mattered. Missed some easy chances, but he's so dangerous, and we have to pay him. I don't think he's going to get the 3 years that he wants, but 2 years, load up the Brinks truck, let's go. Like, honestly, I'm not even trying to hear these debates about his age. I don't think anyone has abs like him. That's crazy. And the guy is just a big stepper. I want to give an honorable mention to Ryan Gravenberch, who continues to excel. I remember earlier this season, everyone was been saying that he is not faced tough teams. And now I ask you all in this chat, who has he not played against, and who has he not dominated against? You saw what he did to little Phil Foden, who could barely catch up to him. He had to drag him with all his power, and he still couldn't touch him. I am just in a great mood. Defense was solid. Trent can defend. Wow. What do you know? This was. I want to say, I guess Connor Bradley should start more often so that Trent can actually decide to defend. So it was great. Joe Gomez was solid. For me, I think that we just completely dominated them in all spaces, and the game should have been closer to 5-0. But we'll take 2-0. And I'm very happy about how all the things went. I thought the referee was actually very free in terms of he wasn't calling ticky-tack fouls, and he let them play. But I'm not going to complain because he was the same on both sides. Whereas typically when it comes to us, David Coote and the likes, they tend to be a bit rough on us. But yeah, great game, guys. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
For sure, and I'll throw it to Mangoro in a second. But yeah, you know what? I'll just get off the gate and say I kind of like Arne Slot. He's a humble winner. He's not loud. Even in the entire game, I don't think I saw at any point him being animated. He's a chill guy. If you guys know that meme, he's just hands in his pocket, chill guy. Just even when the game was done, gives Pep his handshake, and then he just walks around a little bit and he goes. He just goes home. I like that. I like that style. Like I've hated Liverpool for a long time because of Klopp, because of Klopp's antics. That's part of the reason why I hated him. That's part of the reason why the refs hated him. And I think but I don't think Slot is the kind of guy who's going to be up in the ref's face when things are not going their way. So, you know what? If Liverpool do take it, this is the first time in my life I've actually been okay with that. First time I've actually been like, okay, if Liverpool take this, I will not be as angry as I normally am because y'all are doing the damn thing, man. So anyway, over to you, Mangoro.
It's not personal, this thing, Mutsa. It's just soccer. It's not personal. But when I look at today's game, yeah, I do agree with Mr. Kumbi there. It was a beautiful day of football. When you see someone you let go do so well, they're the coldest man on the planet doing so well, and Pep on his knees. Like it truly is a beautiful day, listener. But we're not there. Today we're talking about Liverpool versus Man City. And I've mentioned this before. I told you guys the City team is finished. It's over. There's nothing here. Like, you saw it today. Like, literally, it was a freeway for Soboslai and Gravenberch. They were just running through the middle. There was no defensive, protection there in the midfield. Kyle Walker, I heard that the fans are calling for his head now because they now see it. And I told you guys about Edison. You see, he was dropped today. Didn't even make anything in terms of just being in the squad, because you've seen him in the last couple of weeks, and I've been mentioning this to you guys. We spoke about Matias Nunes on the left wing. He made Trent look like prime Gary Neville. That just wasn't okay today. It just wasn't okay because we know Trent cannot defend. We know that is a fact. And then you look at the midfield. I did like the balance of the midfield that Liverpool had today with Gravenberch and McAllister. They really ran City to the ground. Those old men, Gundogan, I'll ask again, what does Bernardo Silva do? Nothing. He was lost there. He was just complaining to the ref the whole time, doing nothing. And I think Pep also, you can see that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's out of ideas or stuff. He's killing the young man, Rico Lewis. Because the boy was playing everywhere. He didn't know what to do. It was just not great. And, it wasn't going to be a Liverpool game today without a penalty. They just always get these penalties. There's just always a penalty when Liverpool is involved. I don't know why. Maybe always do tackle them a lot, but there's always a penalty in these big games. But that's besides the point. But my opinion, Liverpool did deserve to win. City looked like a shadow of their championship winning form. Age is catching up with the players, as I've been mentioning. They do not look great. When you look across the board, and I think 2-0 is really very flattering to them. It could have and should have been worse. That guy Cody Gakpo, he scores and he does things, but he's very wasteful. Some of the chances, I was like, yo, Cody Gakpo, come on, at least hit it to the side of the keeper, not down his throat, straight at him, come on. But all in all, I think Liverpool, I do have a problem with this. They've given Liverpool this title. 9 points, come on, guys. Now they've handed them this thing. We're trying to come, and then with Arsenal here, we're trying to take the fight to them. But City, they're just laying down there and just giving them the title. So for me personally, I mentioned, the City should be starting to look for brand new players, maybe a brand new coach. I heard Pep is linked with Kaiser Chiefs now. Since I heard that he's going to get sacked in the morning, so who knows, man? Maybe he'll be coaching Kaiser Chiefs, and we'll get to see him in South Africa. But my take is City is done. Liverpool have been handed the league title on a silver platter. I don't know if you agree with that, Samson, as an Arsenal supporter.
For the title race, I will still maintain I'm waiting for January. I would like to see how Liverpool copes through the month of December. But let me get on to the game. And, dear listener, we did tell you, I remember a few weeks ago after the Brighton Man City game, we looked at the schedule and we said Liverpool, we said Tottenham, we said Nottingham Forest, we said these are very physical games. And this is an old team that is beaten up, that is tired, that looks like they don't even want to be there. And if the last week is anything to go by, 4-0 at home to Spurs, 3-3 at home to Feyenoord, Slot's old team. And then today, it should have been 6-0, to be honest. Mo Salah could have had a brace. Gakpo could have had a brace. Van Dijk could have had a hat-trick. I'm telling you, if Gabriel was watching that game, he was thinking to himself, man, I would have eaten these men alive. But hey, man, it's like Mangoro said, it's time. Pack it up, gents. It's over. Maybe Ten Hag was right. Eras do come to an end because this era is over. And it's going down with a whimper, because these guys offered nothing, absolutely nothing. Because I've been watching the Premier League like you guys for a really long time. And when a team is at the top of the league and, a team like Liverpool, top of the league, playing well, loses their best defender before a big game, that's the sort of thing that energizes the other team, usually. And I expected to see energy from the first minute. I expected to see through balls down the middle on Joe Gomez's side, challenging him, challenge the back line, do something. But as usual, and we spoke about this a few weeks ago, Pep is a stubborn individual. What did he do the first few minutes? Pass back, pass. One of the first early chances Liverpool got was actually Gundogan had a very clear pass to the left when he turned around and they robbed him. Liverpool counter-attack was almost a goal at 3 minutes. And that was just the story throughout the game because, like Kumbi said, Mangoro said, they could not hang. You are trying to play high-pressing football, high-energy football, and you have seen time and time again, if you could not handle it against Brighton, you could not pass around Brighton. You couldn't do it. Let's not even kid ourselves. You could not do it against Brighton. You could not do it against Spurs. You could not do it against Feyenoord. Why is it that when Liverpool comes around, you think you can do it all of a sudden? Why is it that you lose 4-0 at home with Bernardo Silva and Gundogan playing the pivot and you decide, you know what, I'm going to do it again next week? I mean, Jesus, Pep, come on, man. It was just so disappointing. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I wanted a draw or a City win, but I would have accepted a hard-fought loss. They tried, but these men, they were on the bus. They did not try. They did not give Liverpool a game. Liverpool, Southampton played better than Man City did last week. Southampton actually challenged Liverpool's back line. Southampton actually tried to attack. Man City just offered nothing for 90 minutes. In fact, the most disappointing thing, I think it's something that Haaland should be very ashamed of, Foden should be very ashamed of, because they're the first line of the press. The one time Van Dijk was put under pressure was when De Bruyne came on. Geriatric 35-year-old De Bruyne. He comes on at the 75th minute. He's the first person to put pressure on Van Dijk. And guess what? As soon as it happens, Van Dijk passes him the ball instantly. And it's a one-on-one. Of course, he missed it, but it's that simple, guys. It is that simple. They are missing their defensive rock. Go at them. Try something. Give us something. But they gave us nothing for 90 minutes. And I don't feel sorry for Man City fans. I don't feel sorry for Pep. Pep has been an arrogant whatever since he came into this league. He's always assumed he's the best. He's always walked onto the pitch like he's going to win every game. And finally, he's facing teams that are not scared of him. Teams are getting on the pitch and they're like, you know what? Man City, we're going to have you today. Kyle Walker, you are done in this league. We are having you today. And it's about time, because this is supposed to be the best league in the world, and finally we're seeing teams come to the party. And as an Arsenal fan, I can only hope that teams keep the same energy when they play Liverpool, because 9 points is 9 points is a lot, gents. We do need you guys to attack Liverpool a little bit. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I thought Man City were just as awful as anyone could be. I even texted the group chat with the gents earlier. I was like, these men are no better than West Ham, and they really are not. West Ham would have actually done the same thing on the pitch today that Man City did, and yeah, it was just very disappointing to watch. So, but yeah, congratulations to Liverpool. You guys didn't make any grave errors to lose you the game. You played your calm game. You played slot ball, got your 2 goals, and now you get to have a happy Christmas. So congratulations to you all.
I was also gonna say that Feyenoord game. I want people to understand. City were winning 3-0 by the 80th minute or by the 75th minute, and they conceded 3 goals in 15 minutes. So it wasn't like 1-1, 2-1, 3-3 type. No. They shut the bed on that game, literally. And now they're in the playoffs for the Champions League. They're not even in like the top 9. I think they actually have to play off. And their current situation right now, they could probably lose those. They probably won't even make it into the top 16 or the last 16 or whatever. I don't know how they're doing this new league format. You'll have to forgive me, listener. I haven't really paid attention to the Champions League like that. So maybe other people can tell me. Anyway, Kumbi, I want to hear from you. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how rattled is Pep Guardiola right now? Because we did see him chuck up 6 fingers to the fans who were singing, "You'll be sacked in the morning." So anyway, what's your analysis of Mr. Pep Guardiola right now? Like, and you know what I want? I want this to be Pep's villain arc. Like, I want us, everybody, just to shit on Man City, shit on Pep, call him washed, call for his sacking, and somehow he pulls a rabbit out of the hat and Man City win the league on goal difference at the end of the season. That's what I want. I think that would be the story of the ages. But anyway, I digress. Kumbi, let's talk about Pep for a second. Over to you, man.
I'm happy to talk about Pep. Before I want to digress for 1 second. Kelleher, as I mentioned in the prior podcast, is a top 5 goalkeeper. Don't want to hear any. We don't have to elaborate on it. I just want you all to remember, I did tell you this, and another dominant performance. When it mattered against KDB, our defense was tremendous, but when it matters, he shows up. And one of the guys we mentioned in the top 5, Edison, was benched. So let's just keep that in mind. To answer your question, Pep, on a scale of 1 to 100, is a billion. Rattled. I don't even know what he's gonna scratch today, because it was his nose after drawing and his skull. He was talking about suicide watch, which is nothing to joke about. But I am seriously concerned for the health of Pep Guardiola, because another bold man has come in and taken his spot as the best manager in the Premier League and maybe in the world. Debatable, but right now there's nobody coaching better than Arne Slot. But let's have this discussion when the year ends and we see like what actually happens. I'm not going to get into hyperbole and start like glazing Arne Slot. We haven't won anything, so there's still so much room to go. But to be honest with you, Pep is in a very dark place. I think that to a certain extent, I think he has lost the locker room. I also just think that a lot of the City players are old now, and because of their terrible transfer market purchases, it's now starting to expose that maybe Manchester City wasn't as good as they were, and maybe it's just that teams were afraid to play Manchester City in an aggressive way. Um, but yeah, I don't see Pep coming back from this one this year. But my fear is we have now given the Saudi Trust Fund enough fuel to buy him all the toys in the Toys R Us store. And that is my biggest concern for next season. I don't think that they can recover this season just because not many teams are willing to let go of their good players in the middle of the year. But I think next season we should be very fearful of what Manchester City is about to do.
What would it take for Pep to get sacked? Because people are calling for his head, even though they're trolling. But I'm actually very curious. Like, what would it take? You think?
You can't sack Pep Guardiola. He has to quit. I'm sorry. He's on the Alex Ferguson program. He's on the Arsene Wenger program. You cannot sack him. He's unsackable. I'm just going to be honest with you. He will have to quit. And Pep is the type of guy who will quit before you guys even think he's going to be sacked. But I still feel like we've given him, especially the Liverpool fans, as you could see when he mentioned the six, right? The level of frustration that he has. He's not quitting now because he wants to prove that he can rebuild a team and win again, which is something Pep has never actually done. If you look at his Barcelona teams, he was gifted a plethora of players. You look at his Bayern Munich teams, he was gifted a plethora. If you look at the initial iteration of the Manchester City squad, it was a plethora of good players. Now he is in a position where he has to rebuild, create a new identity for his team. And we will really see, can you actually build a team the way Jurgen Klopp did, right? The way Mourinho did, the way all these other great Premier League managers have had to do. Sir Arsene Wenger consistently changed his teams and identity of how they played. Let's see what Pep is going to be able to do with washed players and now having to bring in new recruits. I can't wait.
I would like to say that Pep, I think, is going through something that I don't think he's ever gone through in his career at this point. When a manager is doing what he was doing there with the six, it's the fans live rent free in your head at that point. We saw it with Mourinho. It's like once you get to that point, you're at a point of no return. You're down and out. They've rattled you. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. So what do you turn to? You turn to the six Premier League titles, which you've won, and we agree with those. And I think one thing that we have to, and it's also like when you think about that six, I think people should also take into consideration what that actually means. Like for him as Pep Guardiola to actually do that, the manager that has been hailed as one of the best, to start doing such things, it's signaling the beginning of the end, in my opinion, for him at Manchester City. Like I don't know if he's as motivated anymore. Like in terms of like, I think the departure of Trixie Brigestein, I think has also affected him. Like you can see that he's just not himself. Even in the press conferences, he's there doing stuff to his face. Who knows what exactly? Like he has injuries now. He's never had injuries on his face, but this season he's going through the most. My boy Pep Guardiola. Like I don't know what's going on there with the man Pep. Like hopefully he's okay, but. Honestly, like I wouldn't think they would sack him. To your question, I think the biggest thing would be he walks away probably at the end of the season. He likes to announce these things nice and early that it's over. And I think it's also the demeanor of the players. And like the last couple of seasons, when I said City will come back in January, February, there's been some sort of aspect where you can see that they potentially could come back. But this year, they look very different. Their shoulders are down, their heads are down. Like in terms of like motivation, it's at an all-time low. Like when De Bruyne came on, like I knew he was not going to score that. Like the confidence is so low. Not only him, but just across the entire front line. Haaland against Spurs, we saw him. Like it's just so bad, honestly, in my opinion, because City have set the bar so high the last however many years, in the last 10 years, they've probably been up there. But this year, like they need to freshen it up, as Kumbi said, like in terms of players, maybe even the manager, like because this path forward is just not going to work. And I don't know, maybe it is high time. Maybe it's time for the Baldies to take over. There are two Baldies currently in the top four, challenging for this Premier League title. Maybe Arteta should also go bold. He will maybe be in a title race because Mr. Maresca is coming. He's cooking, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage.
A bold
Yeah, yeah.
Arteta. Oh my god, I will not stop. The memes will be nuts.
Do you guys want terrorism or not? Because I mean, you asking for a bald Arteta? If you thought he was a terrorist now, my goodness. Anyways, yeah, it is about that time that Man City thought about rebuilding, and I think this is coming at a very interesting time because it's been a while since we've spoken about the 115 charges, 115, and yeah, maybe they're going to be playing in the Championship next year or League One, and then I'll be curious to see what Pep does then. How does he rebuild? Because I mean, either way, a rebuild is coming. And the funny thing is, out of all the teams that could go and spend a billion, Man City is the one team that when they spend a billion, there's going to be feds knocking at the door like, hey, what are you doing? Let's look at your books because, like, we know them. We know how they move. We know how they deal. So, very interesting. I don't know how they're going to rebuild this team because, again, a lot of people have to be replaced. You have De Bruyne, he's in his mid-30s. You have players like Bernardo Silva approaching 30. Gundogan, he's been starting. He's a starter now. I thought the guy was going to retire. He's starting games. That whole back line is awful. The goalkeeper, I always wondered why Edison never started for Brazil. Now it's, now it's obvious. Like, yeah, you're pretty terrible. And Haaland, Foden, I've been saying it for years. I feel like opposing Premier League fans like to prop up Foden and say Foden is good, and Foden just so they can say Foden is better than Saka. That's been a running theme throughout the years, and I'm glad that that's no longer a conversation anymore. I'm glad because the same things I've been crying out about Foden. He doesn't do it in the big games. He doesn't do it enough. He doesn't work hard. We're seeing it all today. We're seeing it all right now. And yeah, on top of rebuilding, I think the other thing that Man City have to do is they have to get more leaders on the pitch. Because so far it seems like it's only Kevin De Bruyne who can, get on the pitch and have that energy to try and change something. And we spoke about this, Mangoro asked, what does Bernardo Silva do? Again, I'll bring it up again. This man is probably one of the most talented midfielders playing right now. But to affect games, you need to be a leader. You need to be, when you walk on that pitch, you need to walk out there and do something. Whether that's passing the ball forward, whether that's making a tackle, whether that's screaming at your teammate for not being in the right position. You got to do something. And Bernardo Silva does not do anything. Foden does not do anything. Haaland, my God, man. My guy Haaland, if it's not a high line and he's running in behind, he's useless. And yeah, there's not much here. So yeah, it'll be interesting. In my opinion, they probably need 5 or 6 players minimum. Who those players are, what they're going to cost, who knows? Because you could argue that part of the reason that their recruitment has been bad in recent years is because players don't want to go there. As you guys remember, when Declan Rice joined Arsenal, Man City was a very real possibility. And the man Declan said no. Who's going to say yes? I don't know. Who's looking at Haaland and is like, I want to play next to that guy. I want to play next to Foden. I don't know. I don't think these guys are players you want to play with. At least, just from judging like the way they played, how they work, I wouldn't want to go to that team. So, very interesting times for Man City. We'll see what happens.
Now, for real, I want to go on a 2-second rant here about the boy Erling Haaland. That man pisses me the fuck off. You know why? Because when Salah scored and they're about to restart the game, who's there joking and laughing with Salah? Erling Haaland. Your first touch in the game was at 30 minutes today. And that was a clearance. It's not even like it was high up there. That was like your first real touch of the game. You cleared a corner. And now you're at the halfway line joking with Salah. He just scored and you're 2-0 down. And you're smiling. For me, if I'm a fan and I'm watching one of the most expensive players we've ever bought, that's our talisman. And he's just there giggling with players. He's just there. He was even giggling with someone when they're defending a corner? He was there giggling with another defender there. I can't remember who he was giggling with. But I'm like, nigga, stop smiling, bro. Like, be serious, bro. Be angry, bro. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? Like, if Salah's there, Salah's doing his job, bro. He's scoring goals. What are you doing? I don't even think Haaland had a shot on target today. I don't think he actually I don't think he actually had a moment where he had the ball in his feet and he took a shot. And, I didn't see none of that. Like, so for me, that's, again, personally, FPL, time to get rid of him. I don't know why I still have him. When I look at Man City's actual stats today, they had 8 shots, only 2 on target. None of those are Haaland. Those 2 shots on target. So I don't know, man. I don't know if Pep also needs to get a belt and just say, "Hey, Haaland, my guy, what's up? Like, let's talk about this," because you can't just be out there being a fool, man. And on what you're saying, Samson, about Foden and Saka, I think, and I know you're not gonna want to hear this, as a player, Foden is better. Consistently, Saka is more consistent. Foden has also won more trophies. So anyway, I just want to put it out there. Like, let's not disrespect the boy Foden. He was unplayable last year.
I'm just gonna say, if any Premier League manager out there, any fan would rather have Foden in their team over Saka, have him. I'm not fighting. Hey, if you think he's better, hey, sure, he's better. He's the best. He's so good. He's so good. That's what Pep would say, right? He's so good, so good. I think he's the best.
Nah, for real, man. But anyway, just I guess that's really it. Because again, for the last four-ish week, well, I guess since the Premier League kind of started, we've all seen the cracks of Man City. We've talked about it extensively. I don't know how much more we can talk about these brothers. We all said Liverpool are probably going to beat them. I thought Konate being out today would have given them some energy. It really didn't. And so I don't know how much more is left to say about Man City. Like, they go play Nottingham Forest in the next game. If they lose that one, we're probably not going to talk about it. I think we'll only start talking maybe if Man City has like 4 wins in a row. Maybe we'll be like, all right, are they coming back? Maybe not. But for now, I think, yeah, man, I think they're going out sad. And it is what it is. Kumbi, any last thoughts on Man City, Liverpool? You are 9 points ahead now. The title is basically yours to lose. I don't think you will, but yeah, just want to check it at you.
My final thoughts would be that the way that Arne Slot is, patient, pragmatic, is how I urge all Liverpool fans to be. There is no need to count our chickens before they hatch. We need to continue, and I hope the players also take heed to this, because the biggest scare for me would be if we do not win the title after doing this. So I urge us to be patient, pragmatic, and continue playing ball the way that we are. I do think that we are going to need defensive reinforcements during the winter period. And I'm a little bit disappointed in Zubamendi. And I say that not because I don't want him to come to Liverpool, but more so when he chose to stay at, I think it's Real Sociedad. Um, you don't get to come and enjoy the glory now that we're on top. So I do hope that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are doing that analytics and that data driven stuff to find us a new defensive midfield who fits the mold for us. Because I do think that Ryan Gravenberch needs he needs someone behind him in case he gets hurt. Footballers now play an absurd amount of games, and it doesn't help the fact that these pointless international. Is it? I think it's Europa League or something, whatever it's called. It's a waste of time, and I feel like it's causing more injuries in football. So that would be my final thoughts: is stay humble, like how Erling Haaland wanted us to be, or more so, Mikel Arteta. But I think that there's a theme right there: is we need to be humble and remain consistent. And thanks for having me on the chat, boys.
I appreciate you coming through, man. Mongoro, any last words from you, my G?
Of course, man. Of course. I think Kumbi just took the words right out of my mouth. And I preach it the entire season. It's just two words, not a lot of words, just two. Stay humble. Simple. Across the board, not only Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. I don't know about United and Spurs, but those four, even Brighton should stay humble. But the other ones, I don't know what they should do. But that's just my take. Stay humble. We are cooking something special. Maybe we will arrive. We should start talking about City, honestly. I think since I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, they're finished. They're now mid-table side. They're like Spurs and United. We should just move them to the side and start talking about Brighton. I think Brighton are more of a challenger this season. Hertela's cooking there. So I think we should be entertaining a conversation with Brighton because they've actually beaten Man City recently. So I think those are the teams we should be taking seriously. Man City are just, as we've mentioned at length, just Man City. But all in all, listener, thanks for tuning in. This is the Forest Brothers podcast. We will be cooking teams quite a lot in the next coming weeks. Watch out for the team in blue from Stamford Bridge. And I heard a conversation going on here about Saka and Foden. There's a guy there at Chelsea, CP20. Have you heard of him? Apparently, he's the coldest player on the planet. I don't know if you know of him, but just throw him in that conversation as well. He's also an English player, so that's just my take. Over to you, Samson.
Yeah, I'll put him in the Foden conversation. Saka's doing his own thing. He's doing his own thing. Also, I can't believe y'all let this man slide. Kumbi literally said last week, if we win against City, the title is ours. That's what he said. That's what he said. How are you letting him slide? How are you doing this? And now he gets to walk it back and be like, oh, I'm going to be humble. No, my guy. No way. Apparently the title is yours. So that's how we're judging Liverpool. Liverpool are favorites now. You've won against City. I expect you to win every game and lift the trophy. That's what I expect, right? That's what you said. So I ain't letting you slide. Nah, we're not doing that.
I did not say every game, though. I didn't say we're going to win every game. But I did say we were going to win the title. That's how I feel. I'm not changing how I feel. But I'm being humble. I'm staying humble. And I'm trying.
Okay. I still don't buy it. I feel like underneath the surface, this man he's saying, yeah, we got this. Anyways, dear listener, thank you for listening to us. Mongor, you're saying you don't know what United and Spurs fans should do. I believe rest of us, we stay humble. United Spurs stay strong. There's hope. Life is not meaningless. hang in there, guys. Just keep going. And yeah, dear listener, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Nah, that's actually fair. And we didn't actually mention this on the pod yet. The table. Man City are now 5th, by the way, if anyone actually hadn't checked. Liverpool 1st, Arsenal 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, Brighton 4th. That has shook me. And Brighton actually 2 points behind Chelsea. So they're actually top 4 contenders here. Man City are now, they're same points with Man City. Brighton, of course, ahead with goal difference. So I have not seen something like this in a very, very, very long time. Man City outside of the top 4. The last time I saw this must have been 2012. I don't remember the last time they were not in the top 4. Maybe even before that. I don't even know when last time Man City was outside of the top 4 at any point in the league. So, yeah, times are changing. 1 point behind Forest. They lose to Forest on Wednesday. They're going down to 6th, by the way. So, hey. And if Spurs win, I don't know how much our goal difference is. Let me see. Goal difference is 14. So, yeah.
Substitute. Don't do a substitute. Please, not Spurs.
If we Spurs win, we're going to actually be ahead of City. And they're going to drop to 7th.
No.
How about trying to beat Fulham first before you start putting this out?
Hey. I'm talking on the table.
Listen, let's be real. Let's be real. We have to set expectations here. I think you've taken it a little too far. Spurs top 4, no, not happening anytime soon. Let's temper expectations. Let's not get a little carried away. Hopefully, you can qualify for Europa. That's a good start. If not, you can play the league below Europa, and that's fine.
No, I wasn't even saying top 4. I was just saying, in the league table, if City lose to Nottingham Forest on Wednesday, if Spurs win, we're going to go above City. That's what I'm saying. So City actually going to be 7th. That's what I was just
But if Spurs win, that's the conundrum.
Yeah, it's a big if. It's a big if. I'm just saying. I just want to throw it out there. Come on, guys. Just let me live, man. You know what? Let's just end the pod now. Listener, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all, man. And we will catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.